Hey Harmonizers, welcome to a Liberty session with Secret. And you'll notice that she's kind of coming in with her head a little bit up, and that's because there's a little bit of construction going on, which is pretty exciting. But we're going to try to do a Liberty session anyways, with the goal of seeing if we can do a little bit of canter work. So I'm going to take off her halter here, and we're going to play a little bit and see what we can accomplish. And either way, it's going to be good for her focus and for her development to just learn how to control her energies and her emotions when other stuff is going on a little bit. And the construction was just kind of wrapping up, so I figured, if it wasn't going to go well, things would be getting quieter and then we'd hopefully be able to work through it. So you're going to see there's some people coming into the ring, and they're going to be getting some different stuff that's in the arena and moving. They're moving wires and stuff around. So the exciting news is that we're getting some new lighting in our arena. So I'm hoping that that will help with some of the filming quality and just give us some better stuff to work with. I know it's always kind of tough, like there with the sun going right through the door there. It's really quite bright, so I'm hoping that it will help with being able to do videos in the evening and just getting the lighting a little bit more even and hopefully some less glare. So that will be exciting and coming in the next couple of weeks. You guys should start to see that happening in the arena, which will be pretty cool. And so you can see Secret's actually doing super well, because you can see they're in the background there grabbing tools and various things, and she's doing Liberty circles, and she's distracted and looking a little bit, but she's a baby horse. She's still 2 years old. She turns 3 in June, I believe her birthday is, and she's actually focusing on me. And remember, Secret, I don't actually work that often because she doesn't have any particular training goals that she's working towards or anything like that, and she's still young. There's really no rush to spend a lot of time with her. So I usually pull her out, maybe once a week or every 2 weeks is kind of what we do. So the fact that she's doing all this, I'm like, you know what, this is really awesome. So the guys that are doing construction are kind of still getting all their stuff going through the door. She had a little startle there, but she's not leaving me or anything like that. She's actually sticking with me, and we're doing some pretty advanced things still, and she's able to figure it out. So I try seeing if she'll trot a little bit more with me coming into the go around the box there, the boomerang game, and she's focusing and she's following and going around, and her walk trot energy is pretty good. Like, she tends to stick with me pretty nicely, but we haven't done a lot of canter work. We haven't done a lot of canter Liberty work, especially. So it's something that I want to start to add more in, because she does a really good job of keeping everything together with that trot. And so we want to start to build up that canter, which will help her with balance, will help her with focus, and will just be good for her to start doing and developing. And you can see she's starting to have a bit of a more buckskin color coming through, especially on her butt. She's got quite a bit of cream hairs happening on her butt, which is kind of cool, that she's changing color a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what she looks like this summer, and if that goes away and she goes all dark again, or if she gets even lighter, which would be super cool as well. But that's all the cream color hairs that you're seeing coming through there. So you can see there she kind of gets distracted. She wants to see what's going off in the distance, because they're doing things on the outside of the arena over there, and so she wants to kind of know what's going on. But I'm able to get her focus back and start to get her to go out on the circle again, which is pretty challenging stuff because it involves your horse kind of going away from you, which means that there's more opportunity for them to get distracted or think about leaving. Here I'm asking her to do something a little different and do some sideways towards me, so she starts doing a little bit of crossing legs. You see she's got that figured out. It took her a minute. She had to think and process and kind of go like, what? And then she had it figured out. But that's kind of the whole point of switching things up and doing different things, so that way your horse has to kind of use their brain and think, what are they saying now? It's not all the same. So even though I have a goal of doing the canter work, I still am going to mix in other little things along the way with the session to help the horse have a variety of experience. So here's a little attempt of canter here. So we do a little bit of canter. She gets the strides, and then I call her back. And that's actually pretty good because she's, again, getting at a pretty fair distance away from me, which can be more challenging for the horses because they kind of can get going a little bit and want to just yee-haw around the arena sometimes. And we're just doing the beginning stages of that canter work. And of course, she's on a little bit of an energy high with the distractions of the construction. So the fact that she's, doing this at all is actually pretty good. So here going to the right, she nearly makes it around the corner, and then for whatever reason, this box catches her eye, and she's like, what? I gotta go over it, even though I'm a little bit scared of it. I don't know if I'm a little bit scared of it. Oh, okay, sure, I'll come back. So that's kind of my interpretation of Secret's brain there. And she does not get a cookie for coming back to me. You don't get cookies if you leave and then you come back. We just we go on and do something else, and you'll earn a cookie for doing something positive. So instead of going back to the circle right away, I kind of recognize that her energy is a little bit up and she's a little bit distracted. So to help set her up for success, I decide, let's go over some pulls and just get you thinking and lifting your legs a little bit. So I spend a little bit of time getting her to do something a little bit different to just reconnect her and get her focused on me. So I've got the footage of her going over the poles in one direction, but then when I change direction, the pivot struggles when I go by the bright light and loses me in the frame there. So now that I've got her a little bit more focused on me, we come back to the circle ideas and being able to send her out a little bit. And I'm just being really aware of where she's at. I want to keep the session short and sweet and make sure she's successful. And even though my goal is to work on that canter stuff, I don't want to make a habit of her leaving during my session. So I don't mind if they leave a couple times. You've definitely seen sessions with Alicia where she's left multiple times because she was just feeling super frisky. But if I can help it, I'd rather, work on the slower stuff, work on different types of circles, just build her confidence a little bit more, especially because of how she is a little bit distracted. And I know sometimes she can be more focused and more relaxed. We're just trying to get it to a place where she's just thinking about sticking with me and how much fun we're having and nothing else, and trying not to stress her out. And then on a day where we don't have the construction that starts us off with distractions or the killer cats, because Secret tends to have really good luck with her sessions, then we'll focus on this canter stuff even more. So you can always come in with a goal, but you always need to be ready to have that plan B or break it down into even more simple steps. So here we're going to give this canter another go, and I'm asking, and she finally gets it there. And you can see she kind of gets a little wide, she gets a little playful, but she comes back when I ask her to, which is really nice. But I'm looking at that, I'm like, okay, well, that's a pretty playful canter, that's pretty energetic. But you know what? She went out, she got canter, she came back. And you can still see she's kind of looking off in the direction of where the construction is happening on the other side of the arena. There's that little bit of lack of focus. You can see she's kind of looking out there. So I'm like, okay, let's do some different types of circle things over here and just play with some different ideas instead. So I get her to go out. We do a little bit of trot circle there. And there are lots of different types of ways you can do circles with horses and cue your horses to do different things. So sometimes you'll see me where I'm kind of more in a leading position, where Secret is kind of beside me. And then sometimes you'll see me do other types of circles. And you're going to see that in a second here, where I'm going to get her to go all the way around my body, which is a different type of circle. So here I'm asking her to go all the way around my body, which she did really nicely there and actually maintained a good trot and stayed really close to me. So I'm really happy with that. We're going to reward that. And so this is a little bit different, getting to do different types of circle exercises, get her thinking, using her brain, watching my body, taking different cues of direction. Here she thought about leaving, but then she comes back. So that's really good. That's what I want to see. But also it's a little mental note for me of, okay, Secret could be hitting her maximum here if she's thinking about leaving again over something that's relatively simple. Like, I don't consider trot work that hard for Secret because she's been doing Liberty Trot for a while and it's not that difficult. It's the canter that's kind of new and we haven't done a whole lot of stuff with that. So she's already thinking about, leaving at that, I have to think about, okay, let's do a little bit more, make sure we kind of push things a little bit. Here I'm asking for a further circle away, but I'm like, okay, we're going to wrap up this session relatively soon so that way we can keep everything super positive. So here I ask her to go at a further distance all the way around me, and she does it super awesome, even though she's still kind of looking off in the distance. That's a pretty tough task to be able to do a circle that far away from your human and not leave and get excited and go all over the place. So I'm really happy with how she did that. And so then I thought at the end here, I would just kind of play around with the idea of putting her head down and doing her stretchy walk, which she did a little bit of. So you can see she's kind of lowering her head just a little bit there, and then she's kind of checking in with me. She gets a little bit confused because she wants to look at me a little bit there, but really I'm just asking her to lower her head a little bit. So I just want to ask her to drop her head. And there she gets her head down for a second there. I ask for a little bit of walk, and then I'm going to bring her back to me and call it a day and leave the other things for later. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching Liberty with Secret.